the news stream. I just don't see it on Twitter, but it could be there. We'll see. So I'm not going to say hello to my dogs around the world because I don't know if you're here. So I'm just going to do a quick little 6:30 club. My name is Scott Redler. It is 6:33. It is July 31st, last day of July, and we've had a great month. So many different types of plays, so many things to do. If you look for setups and you don't look for tops or look for recessions, yes, we've had pauses and we've had some shots across the bow, but it feels like every time the Bears get a chance, they lose it, right? Anyway, let me just check out this for 1 second here. I could see myself talking. I could see the chart, so I could see how it goes from. All right, we got that. We can go back to the chart. Let's see if it shows up here on Twitter. Oh, it's going. All right. Anyway, all right. Now I feel like I'm not talking to myself. Sometimes you talk to yourself. You're allowed to talk to yourself, and it doesn't mean you're a raging lunatic. I talk to myself all the time. What I usually do is I try and figure out in my head, what I want to give out to the universe in order to take accountability to. So I will say something off topic, because it is July 31st and we have a new month coming up. So if you feel like you've been doing a few things wrong, or you haven't been following your rules, or if you haven't been prepared enough, if you haven't honored your stops, or haven't had multiple plans, write on a piece of paper, say this is what I'm going to do differently for August. And once you put it into the universe, sometimes you got to be accountable to it. I have a little on a different trading side. It's been the summer, we've been having a good time. So I feel like I want to tighten up my, every now and then I'm like, guys, I feel like, I have my whole range for weight. So I was sitting in the ice barrel today. I'm like, what I'm going to do? I'm like, no beer for August, no wine, and I'm going to do no French fries and no bread unless it's on a sandwich. So, I'm going to Spain on August 21st. So I want to get, feel like I'm in healthy rip shape to travel. So that was one thing I'm going to do. I threw it out in the universe and I wrote it down. I want to see if I have enough self-control to follow it for 3 weeks. So to give up some things you feel like it might be hard for you to do. And then once you do it, you feel good about yourself. Anyway, small wins. So with that being said, I came in on my ranges between 178 and 192. I'm 186. My goal is to get to 178 by August 21st. So I'm not going to Portugal. I'm going to Spain, Marbella. Anyway, so let's talk markets. August and September are historically the worst months. Okay, I hear you. No, tequila I'm going to have. Tequila and vodka on the rocks. I don't really enjoy it, but there's no sugar or carbs. So that's what I'm not giving up alcohol for the rest of the summer. No, but no beer, no wine, no French fries and chips. That's it for 3 weeks. Anyway, let's move on. So what are you going to give up? So you look at the chart of the S&P cash. Holy cow, right? What an active sequence. This market's been rotating and rallying really since March 29th. Yes, we had our October lows over here. Look at this bullish engulfing day. Candlesticks mean something. Anyway, each step of this rally, there's been a different flavor. There's been different names leading it. There's been different types of setup. And then I was leaving for Florida on Thursday. And on Thursday morning at a 6:30 flight, I had about 6-7 positions on. I put my trades in through trade support, sold some strength, and by the time I landed, it looked like we were reversing. I got stopped out of a few positions, and then I was almost left with very limited risk, when we had that candle right there. You take a close-up look, like, all right, this is a pretty bearish engulfing candle. This is a candle that might mean something. I call it a day to take notice, meaning, hey, maybe you want to switch some gears because you don't want to get caught. So within this candle that opened up above 45.80 and then broke below this range and then to hit 45.27, this candle could have said, hey, this is it for the summer. Okay, time to, not have as many positions on, which you still could do, try and be a little bit more tactical. Why not? We've just been rallying, for the whole year, where half the year nobody, wanted to embrace it or accept it. And everybody that was a bear doubled, tripled, and quadrupled up and blew themselves up and their followers. If somebody's wrong and they get louder, stop following them. If somebody's wrong and they admit it and they switch gears, that's what traders usually do. But anyway, so this was, Thursday. Then all of a sudden, I remember I was at my hotel room and I was talking to the Alpha team, like, oh, Redler, you're going to go short. Now's the time. The Bears are going to grow. I'm like, you know what? I've just had a really good active sequence with which I've been in portfolio approach lots of different ways. And I got, I was up really good money Thursday morning. By the time the day was over, I was still up, but I was out of most of my risk. I'm like, I'm not going to get stopped out of stuff and then go home super duper short, because I've had this storybook before where all of a sudden you gap up the next day and they trap you, and then all of a sudden you're out of your longs, and then you lose money short, and then you hate the world. I'm like, screw that. I'm in what's it called, Sarasota. I'm gonna hang out with my wife and figure it out. And then I saw the gap up on Friday. I was like, okay, that's good. Kind of sucks I don't have as many positions as I had on, but at least I'm not short. And then all of a sudden you look at that candle. So this is the low here. What's this? 45.64. If all of a sudden we do a little bit of work in this area, there's a chance we continue. So at the end of the day, okay, I put on a few more positions to reposition, just to to stay involved. Because some things look better than others, and and some things I sold straight out, so I could have bought back. I still had some option plays on, and I still had some earnings plays on. So let's go to the Qs real quickly, because everyone's like, Red Dog, you called the summer top in the Qs. You're wrong. I'm like, all right, everyone wants to try and prove everyone wrong. I'm like, listen, I didn't say you can't be long. I just said this looks like a peak. So be a little careful and tactical, because a lot of the names that we play don't look like they're about to make new highs. So let's just be a little bit quicker, like day and a half trades, day trades, etc. So if you look now at the Qs, this was, by the way, this was on this day at 387. Okay, so you're still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days since that. Okay, so it's been better to be tactical, and not get caught and make some money. So now at this point, like, brother, what do you think? You still think the tech put in its top for the summer? I'm like, well, it looks a little different now. Now it looks like we've held this 374 going sideways. Here was your peak. This was your day that kind of confirmed that peak, and then all of a sudden on Friday they trapped anybody who went out short, which I didn't. I just had less risk on. And now it's getting tight again. I would say the longer we hold 380 now and go sideways, there's a probability that there's a chance we take this out and continue, and that this peak, instead of turning into an active sequence to the downside, just turns into a consolidation area where it was good to be tactical, let the market prove that things could rebuild and go, and warrant the risk. So that's it. So anyway, the longer we hold 380-ish, the higher the probability maybe we take out this 384. And we continue to go. What's going to, give us clues of that? Obviously we have Apple on Thursday. That's going to be big. Right now, BAML came out, said that it's going to be underwhelming. So what does that mean? Maybe it means it can't get through 200. I don't know. All I know is I have my iPhone, and I haven't got a new one in 2.5 years, and it's still awesome. So yeah, China EV names have been where it's at. I haven't been really that active in Apple for a week because it's been a choppy mess. We've made our money elsewhere. Where? 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, I was on Fox Business with Liz Clayman, and she's like, "What are your two best plays now?" I'm like, Bank of America and Boeing. Look at Boeing. Boeing wound up being huge. Why? Look at the channel. Huge channel, going sideways, gorgeous channel, consolidation. So in here, I bought options. I bought the 225s because I figured if it gets above 223, it's going to break out. And I sold the 235s. Cost me 3 to make 7, 2.5%. Two and a half times, whatever it is. And then what? It opened above this and got long some stock because of, if you've read my, I've done a lot of ebooks on moving averages, on my tier system, on my day count. The last one was how to play gaps post earnings to make money after the print. So not only did we make really good money in the options, okay, then I got involved in the stock because like now earnings are out of the way. As long as it holds this area, it's good. And all of a sudden went to 240. So this was, I haven't traded, Boeing that often. It's actually a power play. They did awesome, but that was a great trade. Okay, it wasn't Apple, it wasn't Amazon, it was Boeing. So anyway, that's one of those pro gap plays. I also had Google into earnings, so that was nice. So Google, the same thing, different sector, obviously, than Boeing, but same strategy. A pro gap above 127 and 129, right? This is your point of reference. I had a 125 by 131 call spread, wound up being maxed out, but I was also able to buy the stock versus this area. And now, I'm in the stock as a swing because it's making it easier to hold. So those are two good post-earnings plays. Yes, as a as a small play, I did put on Snap and it didn't work. Not everything's going to work. I'm not just pointing to winners, but a lot of things have been working. China was a different play. Remember, we were accumulating FXI calls because I was figuring they could do some kind of stimulus. So the FXI, which is an ETF for China, we were doing that here into this area, actually. And then I actually tweeted, you could find the tweet. I'm like, ooh, bullish engulfing candle. It did it before China rallied, so somebody knew something. And that's when, people put on the FXI or added to their options. And now all of a sudden, this is where, the FXI was. So look at this bullish engulfing day. Looks like they kept the power. The bearish engulfing day from Thursday, bears had no power. But anyway, so now what? So China's acting better. So it's a nice play. You guys remember, we had NEO here. I had NEO in the $10 range. And first time you get to the 200-day, usually gets rejected. Second time, you want to be a buyer through. And now all of a sudden, this thing's at $15. Wow. So, but you got to look into this group. Why was it also rallying? Because you had XPEV that had to deal with Volvo that went nuts. So you connect the dots. And again, you don't have to be in the same stocks every single few weeks because you look for setups and money rotates, and sometimes it's better than others. So, people ask me about Rivian. Yes, I'm still in Rivian. It hasn't been a barn burner, but we did the first play here at 16 and change. Then, we were positioned in here, and it happened to reverse on the day the market reversed. So I did sell some above 28, right? Because I was adding through here. And then you could buy some back as the 8-day continued to hold. So yes, I'm still in Rivian, and I'm in calls for the fall. Okay, where could it go? I think it can continue higher. It's just not really a barn burner, for now. AI, it's been a little wishy-washy. This wide range candle got me out. I actually sold some strength. So again, on Thursday, I had AI because it looked better. And then I sold some pre-market. I had some offers out at 43. So on 2/3 of my position, I made money. And then I got stopped out of the last version. And then it wound up holding, and it's still in this range, but this candle was how to get you out. Now it's got to rebuild and prove that it could, continue to go. Remember Unity also, wound up being a really nice trade from, this bull flag all the way up to 50-ish. Okay, I did sell a bunch into the 50 area, and then I repositioned a little bit on Friday saying, hey, I think this can continue, and it's been holding in there. So if you're long Unity, you can be long verse 42. So that's why I say sell some strength, net money, so you could buy a dip, and if it really changes, then get out of the way. You have Amazon and Apple this week. Okay, Apple is consolidating. It's at the all-time high consolidation area. Look where it is, all the way up here. You had that that loose and wide day that caused a consolidation phase, which makes sense ahead of earnings. Earnings are on Thursday. Some guys are like, hey, Red Dog, do you think it's going to have a pre-earnings move this week prior to Thursday? It's hard to tell. Apple right now is down 6 whole cents this morning. It's at 195. What I might do, just in case that happens, maybe I buy 198 calls today for earnings for Friday, and then if it happens to rally to 198 or 199 pre-Thursday, then I'll let that movement create a call spread. Okay, and then the call spread will wind up funding itself, and then I'll have a free play for earnings, and then I'll trade it after just in case. So that's something I'm probably going to do today. I'm going to buy some 198 calls for Friday, and then if we do get a move, prior to Friday, then maybe I'll turn it into a call spread. I did that with Tesla, and Tesla, that last call spread didn't work, but it was funded by the action. And then I also did it with Google, and Google wound up being perfect. But anyway, so Apple, had a chance to break, and it didn't. And then it gave you 191, this 195. So in order for this to, start to get a pre-earnings move, or one more additional move, because it's not a pre-earnings move all year. By the way, this was the last Apple earnings. You had this pro gap, held sideways, and then started an active sequence from 173. So now, in order to get to 200, it's got to get above and stay above 197 and 198, and then that could be another move, and then that'll also be something to tell us whether we're going to be at 4650 in the S&P cash, or we're going to be back at 4500ish or so. So Apple will be important. Amazon's different because Amazon isn't priced as crazy as Apple. I know the valuation or whatever, but if you look at the weekly chart of Amazon, it's still nowhere. Here's your all-time high in Amazon, 187. This is hovering, mid-level, kind of like what Google was doing. Google was mid-level before it moved. Like, look at the weekly chart of Google. Google was, remember this one? This was awesome. We played this. I made a lot of money right here when it got above 109. And then it held mid-level, and now all of a sudden it's above 126. And this seems like, this could work its way back up towards the prior highs here. It's just getting back to where it was in 2022, and this was 2021. So anyway, Amazon's at a mid-level, so doesn't need to be so crazy to the upside in order to go, I don't think. I don't know. I haven't done any kind of option play for it. Amazon's been very choppy. Last time we had a really good play in Amazon, if you remember, was right here. When it cleared 109, I'm like, I think we can get to 120, and it did. And now it's up here. So we'll see. Like, you go to Apple's, look at Apple's chart, a lot different than Amazon. This is already at all-time highs. Wow. Congratulations if you're an investor / trader of Apple. I trade Apple. I think Chase was his first stock that he bought during the pandemic, and he still owns it, so good for him. I've said that a bunch of times. He was time-stamped when we were sitting in the parking lot. Anyway, this is what, 198 something or other that I just said, 198. Yeah, NVIDIA's been all right. It's been rebuilding, and every time it looks like NVIDIA's done, it continues to be okay. But so this is where Apple is, all the way up here above everything. Look at that. By the way, the 8-day moving average. Remember I talked about the 8-day moving average? You want to be long when it's above, even as an active trader. Look at this 8-day. Woo! Is that a strong trend? Is that something to fight? No. So you go to the back here, Amazon's down there versus. So there's a chance that it works out. I haven't done anything with it yet. I'm going to kind of wait here. Is AMD over? AMD's been a pain in the ass. I took AMD last week into Wednesday. It looked good, and then and then it flushed me out, and I lost a lot of money. So I'm letting AMD breathe. AMD. It's just weird and not acting well. And I took it on this day, and they friggin' trapped me. And I only want to be sitting in things that act special, make it easy for me to navigate. Meaning, you buy it, it opens lower. You could buy more, it goes green. You add cash flow, it trades through a prior high. You could add to it and sell higher, and you can stay with it. Lately, since this double top in AMD's been a disaster. Double top here, double top here. It's getting tighter, but I'm avoiding it. NVIDIA still acts much better and much easier to deal with. Here was your high here, 480, broke this, came into the 440 area, filled the gap, and it's still, this is looking more like it's not over with. It's proving that it can really monetize AI, this still is holding in well. By the way, the semis have been reacting really well. So typically, someone's like, again, do you think the Qs are going to continue to have that top it put in 10 days ago? I'm like, well, if I were to speak objectively, the semis are acting really well. Usually the semis are the guts of tech. And if the guts of tech are acting well, chances are tech usually follows. It's going to depend on what happens with Apple and Amazon. And the Qs have been building. So, I'm ready to say, all right, because it doesn't matter to me. Yes, we had a short-term top. And now tech is proving it's consolidating up here, which is impressive and might have another move. But I'm still going to be selective and be in some things, not just everything. Anyway, it's 651. LI, that's had a huge move. Look at that. Woo! That's why NEO's been so good. And then XPEV, wow. Look at that. Look at this. This is the last time my alpha team was buying it around here. That's a huge move. So that's why I still think, you could maybe buy some $30 calls in the fall for Rivian. I also think you could buy some, $8 or $10 calls for Lucid. Their deliveries were poor. Remember we played it right here, but it looks like it's perking up a little bit. I bought $10 calls for November, thinking that at some point somebody takes a bigger stake. They're starting to produce more, maybe whatever it is. All I know is the stock's been left for dead. Here, I remember we were buying the $8 calls. They tripled, sold half, and then I got hurt on half, and it looks like it's coming up a little bit, but we'll see. Bitcoin bull flag, I don't know. I'll end with Bitcoin. I had a decent move with Bitcoin. I made a lot of money with Mara and Coin itself, but it's hovering here. It's hanging, but it's some people are saying, hey, doesn't this look like a descending channel here? It does. After our consolidation, after a nice move from 27 to 31, it's been just trickling in pretty controlled. It's going to really have to get above this again, to get going. If that's the case, yes, maybe there's another trade in Mara or Riot. We did really well with Coin. I got away from Coin just because, I feel like we made a lot of money here from the $60 to $80 calls, and then we bought it. I bought it here, I bought it there, and then on this candle, I got done with it. I think I saw some kind of SEC news this morning. What's it doing this morning? Coin, is it down? Coin is down 30 cents. I did take a little bit of Mara, thinking that, hey, I bought so much right here. Look at that. That was I wouldn't play Mara the whole year. That's the beauty of being a trader. You can find setups. It was going sideways like this. It was looking really tight, and a few guys from the alpha team like, Red Dog, Mara's ready to go. I'm like, those stocks suck. And like, no, Red Dog, you say that setups happen. It doesn't. And I got involved here, and then we got involved again when I got through 13. And I think I was done playing it around 15 and went to 19. And now if it wants to continue, it's got a little bit of a setup here where I would say you could be in versus 15 area. And then if crypto and Bitcoin wakes up and goes back above 30 or 31,000, chances are, this will make a nice move and there could be another trade there. All right, guys, it's 6:54. I got to, update my stuff. I got to hang out with the alpha team. I was out away from the desk Thursday, Friday. Back in the saddle. I'll be in the saddle all week. So 6:30 club will be live in center Monday through Thursday because Fridays I don't have them. And we'll see how it goes. Remember, look for setups, not recessions. Just work on your trading strategy. If you didn't have a great July, tomorrow's August. Write some things down. Put them in the universe. Be, just committed to whatever it is you say. Just don't say it. People hate people that say they're going to do something and they don't do it. Especially your own mind hates it even more than anyone else, right? The universe knows if you're giving it a full, honest effort. They'll reward you for it. But if you do it half-assed, like if you come in and you're not prepared, you don't honor your stops, you don't wake up, you don't have multiple plans, and if you're stubborn, you're going to lose money. And chances are, if you lose too much money, you're not going to be listening to me anymore. You're going to be out looking for a different type of job. And we all know that when this is really good, it's a really good job. It's not always easy. And sometimes you have a lot of work to do. But think about it. Sitting at your desk, you have your iced coffee, you listen to music. Alexa, play Watermelon Sugar High. You're not out there digging ditches, in the sun painting roofs. You're sitting here. You're hanging out with people you like to hang out with, hopefully in your trading community. You get to, get yourself together. I go in my sauna every morning, go in my ice barrel, get ready for the day, think of all my multiple plans, and just continue to try to evolve and become a better version of myself. No one else, just myself. When you do that, you feel good, and you hopefully help some other people do it. Either which way, thanks for tuning in. I hope you had a great July. Tomorrow is August. We have a week in front of us. Be well.